Allah, we are simply Allah, get back to station safely, inshallah. We also appreciate your concern by deciding to maybe visit our area with the intention to establish a very viable business venture in your domain. Thank Almighty Allah for this opportunity and for us bring Allah to see us through. With good intention and the plans, and also with our desire to cooperate with you in this field. Inshallah, we will achieve our desire of it. Inshallah. Yeah, so as you pointed out to us, we see that yes, we have intention to establish a ranch. Yes. Whereby the cattle will be, and then we actually feeding them and then also processing them in terms of eat and be eating sort of procedure. So that and usually they're like normal project. You have the production, processing, and the marketing. So we are going to produce livestock, cows, animals. Then there is no point to process them. And then we have to market them. So whatever you are going to process from that angle, and then it will be like a commercial venture, profit oriented, which you are going to do your own plan, how much you put in production, how much you put in processing, and what you are going to market. Alright? So in our part here, we feel obliged to see if I get to appropriate sites. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 sites that you need to inspect and survey. And then that one also start to, whichever one is able to meet your requirement, then you now sit down and we'll do the analysis and okay. So we look forward to showing those sites, 2 or 3 of the sites. So you see them practically, survey them, and then now come to us, okay, that will be 3 sites we have been doing, we have to show, okay? Alongside with this project, we too here, we've been planning this type of project, but because of some financial handicaps, shortcomings were able to fully operate. Because we have also similar intention. Like presently, like presently, we have an abattoir that are live farming. The machines are there. When we do that, same function.
I had the opportunity of meeting the gentleman, Alaji Dr. Abubakar, yesterday. Abubakar Mogadi, So he was a very, like yourself, enlightened man, and he was able to tell me he's been to South Africa as well a few times. So I am aware that you are already doing that. So that's why I believed it wasn't going to be a strange thing. So which was why, because he understood the fact that the feedlot would help even your abattoir, or it would guarantee the quality of beef that you need. So it's called a feedlot, but it's basically what you call, or it's fattening school. All we do is we fatten up the cattle. So the first stage is we fatten up the cattle. Once we get that right, 2 months we can be selling. So necessarily we don't have to build the abattoir straight away. So we can start selling till we have enough big enough ranch. To go back to the South African people, what they did is like they have a place called Berlin, which is about 20 kilometers from where the East London abattoir is. What the company does is they buy cattle in big amount. So they'll go to Botswana, buy about 20,000 heads, they'll go to Zambia, places close to South Africa, they buy these heads and they ship them down to South Africa, fatten them up, kill some, export some, and they have a breeding program as well. Like the Mutalab's farm and the National Governor and Senator. Those farms, the cows that they're doing the dairy meat came from these people. So they have experience in Nigeria as well. So what was beautiful was, like, the first time I went, they were like, "Who are you? We don't know you." I mean, we've been to Nigeria a few times. But by the next time I went, they actually understood that I knew what I was talking about, because obviously I haven't traveled the whole thing. They did not mention your state, but they refer to it. Because there's a guy called Jen. He is the one that actually was working in Nigeria. And obviously they set you up in Nasarawa and other states. But somewhere along the line it flipped. And when Niger State is very kind of, like, because they have to go through,
Yeah, because the reason why I didn't mention the state, because from the initial plan, all those projects were put on the paper.
Yes, sir.
And then even physically some have already been cited somewhere. Like, it's part of that plan that the Magaji wrote also a certain budget from the state government. It was the state government project.
Right.
So out of that plan, they even cited an abattoir, or sort of meat factory.
Yes.
Here in Bida, just behind my palace here. There's a meat factory that can take about 100 tons of meat. All the machines have been equipped there. They have been fixed. But for one day, those machines have never actually been used. So
that's the infrastructure that would help.
Yes, eventually I took over the machines. I took over the machines with the intention to start breeding small quantity of cows, and then maybe meeting them there, turning them to meat, and storing them in the place. But along the line again, I changed my plans.
Right.
So I now converted that area to a golf course. So, but the machines are still there.
Okay.
Which, if
required, we just move it to another site.
And then,
so that's good infrastructure as well, because that means I don't have to. That's refrigeration.
So, but for your own side of this project, you need to know the number of
cattle that will be.
The number of cattle you need to put on the ground, and also the area. The length and breadth of the area required.
Yes.
Either in square meters or in hectareage.
Yes.
How many hectares of land? You want? Because what you are expecting from another, you want some part of the land to be used as a feed, cultivated land, and also where you can keep the cows. And also a factory that you can milk.
But there are stages.
Yeah.
So the stage one, you cannot have the land to grow the corn and feed the cow. What I do not want to do is I don't want a situation whereby I'm growing the corn here and I'm having to transport the corn to the cow. Preferably, I would like to grow the corn and the cow in the same place.
So
that's stage one.
That area combined together.
Exactly.
Give you the size.
Exactly.
Of the area you require.
It's going to expand. It would expand because to be able to kill 200 cows in the abattoir, you need 20,000. You need access to 20,000 heads of cattle. At the beginning, it's humanly impossible for me to do that. Anyone to do 20,000, you kill the animals. So you have to do it stage by stage. Stage one is to see how the animals are fed and what's the turnover. Get rid of all the microorganisms that you do not know exist in the environment that will stop you. So once you have your vaccination system right and you have your feed right, then you increase the amount of beef you. So say we start with 1,000. In a year we hit 5,000. At most, in the longest, biggest place, all you can have on the farmland will be 20,000 animals to cater for your abattoir. That will be to cater for supplying your abattoir beef. So what would happen is you have two different ways of looking at it. There's so many suppliers already that would want to play a part. You understand? They themselves can just actually come to your feedlot to fatten up the cattle within your feedlot and then sell it to your cattle. So you necessarily do not have to have the 20,000 cattle, but you need a working system that will allow for that amount of cattle to come through your feedlot. To do that, I need 15,000 hectares of maize grain grown for a year, because we harvest it and store it and feed them for a year. So 15,000 hectares for the grain alone, that's what we need. At the beginning, we're not going to grow that because we don't have 20,000 cattle. So we do it incrementally. So this is what I've explained to him. Like, if we get 20,000 hectares or get the 50,000 hectares at once, it's good. But we're not going to start using the whole 50,000 hectares right at the same time. We'll incrementally use them, because I showed them a text today where the guy was saying we have got 5,000 now because it's just coming back from Angola, and they're going to be increasing it to 15,000. Because when I went there, they were actually in the process of doing the vaccination, and they just set up like a feedlot in Botswana. So the Botswana farm that they set up about 6 months ago is where they're going to be getting cows from to increase the one in Berlin, which is in South Africa, to 15,000. So the chain is there, and I was explaining what you call production line. Your production line necessarily is not just one particular place. You explained it before. You do this, you do that, and you do your marketing. It's the same thing. So the production line doesn't mean I'm going to produce everything in one area. You understand what I'm saying? But the problem is I need to make sure like I have at least 20,000 heads of cow that could come through my feedlot. Advantage as well is
make sure that the community are involved in providing amenities. So, in charge of like I was shush. Should I like to listen that about? I'm going to go ahead
Extent area. Like particular area, sites I can get water general size. Village heads. Area. Then the issue acquisition. Because now it is a policy. Now there is not going to agreement of buying off the land.
Yeah.
We want to sell the land.
Yeah.
We want to lease the land. Okay. For a period of there will not be subject to the users and the understanding. Okay. So you sort of try to maybe arrangement to say, okay, I see 10 hectares or 10,000 hectares of land, I'm going to pay for it. No.
I wasn't able to. That's why in my presentation I mentioned that my company, once you read the profile, is community-driven company. I mean, my whole idea is always making sure you involve the community. Once you do that, you have a lifetime project. You understand what I'm saying? So the list would not come into play once you do that, because the percentage would go to the community, and so they become an integral part of the business.
So by integrating the community,
yes,
we always say that if you are able to identify
the areas there, so you can speak to the community.
The community are there, so you can even extend satellite, feed farms.
Feedlot,
For this community. Yeah. Then you can go and give them some items. In line with
what to do,
what to do there. So either they farm it themselves, and then at the end of it, when they harvest it, you now buy it.
What's that? That's it. Yes. So we do there. So we can actually train them up to.
There are a lot of actually operating in our business. There are normal
farming that they do. Yes.
And then the one you require for your cows also be done by them within their own land.
Yes.
So you now calculate it to be part of your requirement, which is many hectares.
I mean, I don't want to, I don't know what that holds for my future, but what I hope for my future is, I believe once I have land and I'm growing the corn, the cows will come. If they are aware that there's feed for cows, they would come. Because one of the problems we have in Lagos and Ogun State in particular is when we bring the cows to Lagos, we still have to take them to Ogun State to eat. And you have a Fulani managing 35 cows, 2 Fulanis managing 35 cows, and all sorts of trouble come along. The car, the days, it's just not right. You understand? So the cow that we should fatten up in 2 months, we're fattening them up in 3 months. You understand? That's costing money in the business and everything as well. But one thing I know about the northeastern people, the Nigerians and the Cameroonians, if there's regular feed for their cow, they'll be willing to bring their cow there to feed it up before they sell them. One of the structure I've learned when you look at the presentation is the way the cattle market is structured, with the Delali and the landowner taking a share of every cattle that you sell on the land. All that will be in place. It's just going to be computerized because it's no more Delali. We all know how much we're selling a particular kg of cow, and every cow that's sold, a specific amount of that money will go to the emirate, because that is what it should be on a normal. So I'm not going to redesign the way cattle is being sold. What I'm going to try and do is improve it and make it more formal. So the make it more recordable and transparent. Yes, and if Allah will, this will be able to sell live carcasses by kg of the weight. Because I don't see any reason why chicken, fish is being sold by kg, and cows seems to be the only one that's not being sold by kg on a large scale. It doesn't make it doesn't make rational sense. Do you understand? You know, and this is what we all eat. You know, you take cow out of the Nigerian diet, we all get kwashiorkor. This is your copy, yes, for you.
I'll go through it.
Yes.
I read through it, and then meanwhile, will go and discuss other issues, especially identify those areas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That appropriate.
Yes.
By the time you identify a particular area,
yeah,
that you feel comfortable, you can run your business with.
Okay.
So now sit down, then
try and negotiate. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for your time. Should I before the picture? Thank you very much for taking the time, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps on giving you the vision that you have, and may it obviously is made you king over a huge number of people, and may He give you the knowledge and the know-how that He has given you, I believe, already, and continue to give you through your old age and to your non-successor. When you do, whatever you've done will not be run put away in haste. May Allah continue to guide all of us, and thank you again for being a great Nigerian and allowing to say a man you don't know from nowhere. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. You just go to the palace. Thank you.
Dạ, chưa đâu.
I wanted to go around and just take the. Yeah, come. And now you can. And then you can just. Sorry?
I've given them the.
I know.
So I divide it. So they said, no, you're not going to follow the mosque.
Taking this one. So when you get outside, have you done the most?
Taking it.
Where's Baba?
Let's be going.
This is where it's fast. You rush and go outside. How many wives are there? Many children. Then turn your right.
I'm taking that.
Okay.